Sam,
Yeah.
so nice to meet you, man.
Nice
So
to meet
if you had to describe yourself without using your name, how would you tell anybody who you are?
That's a great question. So I'm pretty bold about this, but on my social media I say I'm a bald believer.
Okay.
You know, a lot of entendres there, right? A lot of meanings in that. But I'm a disciple of Christ, man. Like I believe that He is trying to make us all like Him. You know, help us become better. And I love people.
Yeah.
I just love connecting with people. So yeah.
So how long you been in Vegas?
My wife's a fourth generation Las Vegan. I've been here about almost going on 20 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So. And how did you meet your wife?
No, you know what? We were summer youth camp counselors.
Okay.
And I actually had a girlfriend at the time. Actually, I had two girlfriends at the time.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. Here I am talking about being a disciple of Christ.
Listen,
like
we all come from somewhere. I think Paul and David did far worse.
I think you're probably right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that wasn't like I was like being inappropriate or anything, but I was interested. I had a couple of relationships. And one of my buddies, because we were traveling around, we were in Santa Barbara, new campus for 2 weeks. We were going to be there. And we were like the leaders. And there was this new team of counselors coming in. And my buddy, fellow leader, he was like, hey, I know you have a girlfriend, but why you not tell anybody? Just see what happens. Maybe you'll meet your wife. And I was like, okay. Because, you know, you're not naive and dumb as a kid. And I meet my wife, and I was really interested in her. She has a beautiful energy and good discernment. She's gorgeous. And I started flirting with her, and she looked at me and she said, hold on a second. I can tell 3 things about you right off the bat. Number 1, you date girls for about 3 months, then you break up with them. Number 2, it's because you have a girlfriend somewhere that broke your heart and you're not over it. And number 3, I don't want anything to do with you. And she turned around and walked away. Wow. Yeah. So I was like, challenge accepted. And
you tackled her?
No. Oh. What I did though is I got there were like probably 800 kids at this camp. And I got every single one of them that I could to go up to her every day and say, Sam thinks you're beautiful. And like scream it at her. And so after 2 weeks of that, she finally decided to go on a date with me.
Let's go. Yeah, perseverance.
Right?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Everything worth having it requires a little work, man.
Amen, dude. Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
it's the crock pot recipe. It's grandma's cooking. No, this ain't the microwave recipe.
No.
Turn it 3 times after 2 minutes.
No. And the difficulty, right? Like the struggle is what actually made it more valuable, right? Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you're an attorney and you're a believer.
Yep.
So
which is kind of hard. That doesn't always mix.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you have a faith aspect and you have a black and white aspect.
Yeah, dude.
Faith isn't black and white. How do those two come together or repel each other in your practice?
You know, that's a great question. I think it's I like to refer to that as reconciling the dichotomy. There's these paradoxes, right? Like that we're surrounded by all of this tension, and I think it's just inherent in our existence. Like our heart and our mind are at conflict sometimes, right?
Yep.
Men and women are at conflict, day and night, war and peace, like all of these tension points.
Love and hate, yep.
Yeah, right? And we're surrounded by that spectrum of opposition. And so for me, it's about how do I reconcile that into a harmony? Because the spectrum actually can be beautiful if it's balanced right. It's what makes everything flow, right? It's
For sure.
Yeah.
We can't have one without the other.
You can't, and you can't have choice without the opposition, right? So I deal with conflict a lot, and I've had done a lot of litigation. I used to work for a big tech company here called Switch. I actually worked for Bush and Obama back in DC, which was really cool.
Oh wow.
Just a lot of different really amazing experiences. I teach at the law school here now, and one of the things I always teach is this idea that you have to look at people as not just 3-dimensional, but almost like they're almost like a 5th dimensional. Because 3 dimension is like depth, right?
Yep.
4th dimension is time, and then 5th dimension is like, well, let's wrap in that idea of love or grace to it, right? And so if I have an opposing attorney, I'm in a deposition where we're asking each other a witness questions.
Yep.
And they're like mad or angry. I try and imagine them very compassionately. I try and see that person who's yelling at me as a 6-year-old or a 5-year-old. Like your little girls when I met you, they were just so in love with you and so glad to be getting ice cream with dad. Like I try and imagine that person like that with that 5th dimensional perception and say, well, what were they like as a kid? And all of a sudden my desire to put the boxing gloves up goes down, and then it's easier to extend a hand. And so that's what I'm trying to do, is create that compassion in myself so I can foster connection. Because if I can have just even a little bit of compassion for somebody, then all of a sudden it's easier to connect with them.
So would you say in any form of conflict, in any aspect of life, immediately reframing a compassionate lens to view that person through, regardless of the reason or situation of conflict?
Yes.
That's your starting point.
100%. And I'll say it this way. I try for it to be my starting point, because I have, been combative with people, but I think there's a difference between contention and conflict.
Okay.
And contention is mean-spirited. It's my personality, my identity's at risk. I'm afraid, so I'm going to be angry. I'm going to bristle. I'm going to throw things at you. Contention is it never creates. It never creates. Period. It just destroys.
Yeah.
Conflict, though, allows me and you to look at things a little differently, or maybe radically differently, and we can still harmonize.
Yeah.
We can still say, "Oh, your point's right. My point's right. How do we blend these two together to come up with an innovative solution or a better harmony together?"
Interesting.
Awesome. I think we need to do that in America a lot more than we do.
Oh, for sure. I think, and again, this is my personal opinion, but I think marriage is the best teacher.
It's so true.
And the best picture of this.
That's such a great point.
I tell people, I have a lot of agents that, or salespeople that listen to the podcast, and people that want to sell more. They want to increase their price points. They're like, "Sam, how do you do this?" And I said, I learned how to sell by learning how to be a husband to my wife.
Yeah.
Because we're opposing. Chances are, if you're a real estate agent or a salesperson and you struggle connecting with clients and you're married, you probably also struggle in connecting with your spouse.
Absolutely.
100. Because yes, it's 100%
so
accurate.
true.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I figure, rather than trying to fix my business, let me fix my marriage, because this is my priority anyway.
I love that perspective. I love that.
Right. So if I can learn this thing with my wife, it'll ultimately help me with my business.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Because everything's an invitation to learn how to connect.
100%.
How to be able to be authentic with people. And because coming at it from the lens of this religiosity or this, hey, we're trying to get to heaven mindset, right? I believe heaven is this place where we're in harmony with each other. We're all you individuals.
Yep.
But there's that reconciling, the dichotomy. We're individual, but we're also united. We're going to treat each other like people instead of like objects or obstacles or numbers. And that is beautiful.
Yes.
That makes music between us, right?
100%.
Yeah.
So I'm a 21 to 22-year-old, fresh out of school law student.
Okay.
And I'm like, man, I watch Suits, I watch these shows, and I see these big personalities winning court cases and living the dream.
Yeah.
But it seems so far away.
Oh, for sure. Did you go to law school? Are you an attorney?
No.
No, okay. But
I'm speaking from that perspective.
From that perspective, okay.
Right?
Forgive me. Yeah.
For the listener that's like, hey, I want to do that.
Yeah, okay.
Where do they start with a mountain so big? What's that first step to start climbing that mountain?
You have a great podcast about your routine, about how you read, you pray, you write in your journal, you anchor yourself. And you have to start there. You have to be in harmony with yourself. There are a lot of people who don't like themselves. And there's a great book called The Anatomy of Peace. Have you heard of that? Yeah. So I actually went to high school and elementary school with the kids of that author.
Wow.
In Utah.
Wow.
And at Arbringer Institute, Terry Warner, like these guys are amazing people, right? That have written what they've written. And I think he's spot on when he says, when you're at war in yourself, when you're unhappy, unsettled, you're in internal conflict, you will create war around you.
Oh, that's so good.
Right?
Yes.
He's spot on with that because I've done it. When I'm upset, I throw it on other people because I'm trying to justify my reality. And so it's easy I'm at war. Well, now you're at war with me. So now I feel better about the fact that I'm at war with myself. We distract ourselves from our discomfort instead of addressing it.
Yep.
So if I anchor in and I have my routine and you gotta be flexible and have grace with yourself. Sometimes you can't get up at 5:30 in the morning or whatever. But if you can do that routine, then it puts me in a place of receptiveness where I can hear and I can see and I can feel, and I'm not worried about how someone else shows up because I know I'm okay. Right? I think that's the starting point.
Awesome.
And you do that.
Yes, it was incidental. I'm in. Is it unconscious competent? Like,
Yeah.
I just knew that
Yeah.
as an athlete that I had to do something with all this undisplaced energy and discipline.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was
But it shows up. Like, it was obvious to me when I met you that you had a light inside you because you were anchored.
awesome. I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure.
So now that someone has, just to build upon this, they're like, all right, I have a routine. I'm getting up. I'm doing the same thing every day. I'm studying. I'm watching film on the people that are doing what I want to do.
Fair point. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How do I've listened to this podcast, and it's get around the people that you want to surround yourself with. So as I'm climbing up, where do you recommend someone go?
There's a lot of associations you can make. For me, the biggest thing that has the biggest impact in my life is, and again, disciple religious, right? But like going to church, you have to have a network of people.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about what you know, but it's about who knows what you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it's about what's true, right? My dad used to always say that to me, and so it's like it's about understanding how to connect with people. Back to that point, in a way that all of a sudden people start caring about you, and they say, "Oh, Sam does that," or "Oh, you know who might be a good fit for that is this person," and all of a sudden you start to get touch points, and then your path starts to open up.
Yeah.
And you can end up wherever you want to end up as long as you're connecting with people. Like, network or die is really what it is.
Yep. So do you believe you can't get past go, or you'll keep repeating running on the same road until you pay that toll?
100%. And I like the idea of paying a toll because I think it's part of the connection process. I also feel like, man, you get so much more back. When every little bit you give, you just get so much more back. And so I believe there's this like divine order of receive then share. And if we're all doing that with each other, man, we all have so much abundance. We're all connected and happy.
Yeah, I believe a framework: learn, earn, and return.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. I love that. It's the same mindset. Yeah. I love it. So you're
awesome.
A conduit. Yeah.
Yes, 100%. So now talk to me about where you are in your life cycle, as far as your career, what you do every single day.
Okay.
As a family, like all these things.
Before I do that, does your tattoo say fatness?
No.
What does it say?
Greatness.
Oh, greatness. Okay, that's a little better. There's this Isaiah.
It should be fatness based on my diet.
No. Well, let me give you context, because there's this great verse in Isaiah where he's like, "Let your soul delight itself in fatness," and it's like spiritual fatness, right? Like receive what we're talking about. And so I was like, but greatness, they're synonymous in this context.
Oh, I definitely 100% with all my heart and effort display incredible amounts of fatness. Especially when we were
fat soul.
Yeah, when we were at Handles. Yeah. For those people that don't know Handles, whoever's Nana created that handmade hand spun ice cream.
Oh, it's amazing. Dude, it's amazing.
Yeah, we should probably swap this out: greatness for fatness.
No.
I'm joking.
I didn't mean to make you
I digress.
No, but it's funny because I have some buddies. We've launched a little ice cream company that's a high protein ice cream and then a vegan version, because of that same thing. Like, everybody loves ice cream, right? So I was at Switch for a while, helped them go public. It was amazing people. I was surrounded by. I was working for a billionaire. I was surrounded by many multimillionaires, and it was incredible. And I like to say that I've had a pretty rich experience in what the life of Babylon. Like, hey, let's go do this thing. And then my ultimate pursuit is to try and figure out how to join Zion. Like, that's my frame, right? My mindset. And I've had a really good instruction on what Zion is not, because they're at odds with each other. But I left after COVID. And I have 5 kids, and I love my wife, and I'm really connected to them. And I retired for about 3 months. I was 42, and I got so depressed and so bored that I decided to pivot. And my wife and I care a lot about Nevada and a lot about education. So a couple of points here. One, I wrote an initiative to break up the school district, basically allow communities to opt out
Yep.
and create their own little community-based school districts, because that affects real estate so much, right?
Yep.
And everything. Like, kids need education. They need,
Yes.
right? And our school system, there's amazing people there, amazing leaders, and we're still like the worst in the nation.
Yeah.
So we focused on that. And we actually donated a couple $1,000,000 of our own money to do that. And then we found out we got defrauded by the signature gathering company that we hired. I mean, we had like bipartisan support. We had like leaders at the Democrats, on the Democrat side, on the Republican side. Yeah, it made national news and stuff. It was so sad. But at the same time, Sam, like, I feel like God, he takes those things and he knows how to turn darkness into light.
Oh, 100%.
Right? That's the reconciling. Right?
Yep.
And so I pivoted and I started a little law firm. And we basically help kids with special needs, and we do it for free for the parents. So we'll just jump in and help. And we've done about 250 cases like that in the last year and a half.
Wow.
So we're just focused on that. And we also do some business stuff. We do some real estate. We just help people out. And my purpose right now is to try and figure out how to use what I have to help as many people as possible. And I hope that we can take that firm. It's now grown up to 30 attorneys here in Vegas and across the U.S. And just help people, just create light, like
that's incredible.
That's what we're all
man.
about. Yeah,
that's amazing.
But here's what's crazy. Like 6 months ago, I had an impression to go get an MRI. And speaking about overcoming difficulty, like you're all about, I got this MRI and I found out I have 2 brain tumors. And it was wild. Like, I never thought in all my wildest dreams that my path would include having brain surgery. And 3 weeks after that, I started to go blind in my left eye. And the whole journey was like this faith journey for me, like just surrendering. And I'm like, this is the price for me to know God better and have more compassion. And I had surgery. They went up my nose and pulled one of the tumors out. And it was one of the most difficult things I've ever done in my life. And I also have this belief, and through a number of very sacred experiences personal to me, things I saw and understood, not while I was on drugs, but just recovering in an ICU. I know I signed up for that experience.
Yeah.
I no one can tell me I didn't choose that.
Yeah.
But I wanted to do the celestial weightlifting and gain that spiritual strength that only comes through going through.
It's forged through experience.
Yeah. And because of it, I'm so grateful. Like, I just feel
so good.
I feel so
write
blessed.
that down.
Right. It's just, that's
so
it.
Good.
Like, the celestial weightlifting is what it's all about, right? And I know you already do that. That's the real fatness.
Yeah. Man. So I want to back up because you said something that was pretty cool. You said you got to a point where it was very clear between the difference of where you were and the success that you were experiencing from the people that you were around. Yeah. And you knew that wasn't the place that you were meant to stay.
No, and it wasn't the be all end all. I mean, it's amazing to have lots of money. I mean, it's really fun. And I grew up so poor, man. I never thought I'd have wealth and stuff. But you come to a realization that it's just dust.
Yep.
And it's like God's teaching you, hey, surrender the dust.
Yep.
So you can you got to open your heart up and let go, so you have room to receive the gold that He wants to give you. Right. That's it. So I had to learn how to let go, and I started having all these dreams back in 2000, right before COVID hit, and I felt impressed to study everything I could about Zion. So I pulled everything I could from all these different religions. I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and I studied all that. And I looked at Islam, I was like, all that, and Judaism, all that, and I just pulled, just traditional Christianity, like books of Enoch, and I'm like, how do we build Zion in our hearts and in our communities? Like, it's really just uniting our hearts with each other, right, and being in harmony and stuff. And I had an amazing experience studying that, and I wrote a book that got published called Zion Rising that's all about how do you keep your heart soft and pure so you can connect and receive everything God wants to give you and become like Him. Because we're commanded to do that. He's like, hey, be perfect like me. And I don't think it means flawless or no errors. I think it just means you develop, you grow, right?
And that's the journey of life.
Yeah.
And you said that you got bored. So most people are in pursuit of something.
Yeah.
And I would be inclined to say that the lifestyle that you had before you left Switch, when they went public, if you would have said, hey, I accomplished this thing, I received this reward.
Yeah.
Who in here will want this thing?
Yeah, a lot.
a lot of people want
almost
that.
everybody probably.
Right,
Yeah.
almost everybody.
Yeah.
And then you got to a point where you were like, I have the thing. And I'm like, well.
That's so well said. I have the thing. It's not what
all that it's cracked up to be, right?
No.
To go beyond that,
Yeah.
I believe everybody should experience it for themselves.
Yeah.
I want everybody that listens to this podcast that has faith, that wants to pursue something, that wants wealth, that wants the car, the house, the girl, the guy, the lifestyle.
Yeah.
Get it, but that's not all.
But it's not all. It's not all. And there's this beautiful, there's a number of authors who've written about this. There's a guy named Arthur C. Brooks.
About to say King Solomon?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And all the prophets too, right? Yeah. But there's modern people who've written about this. Arthur C. Brooks says 7 words for happiness are use things. Or no, he says use things, love others, and worship God. Right? It's like those are the 7 words for happiness. And there's this famous philosopher, like a Renaissance man, because I feel like we're actually entering a Renaissance stage right now in the history of the world, where people are starting to wake up and reinvent things and question the status quo. And there was this guy back in the Renaissance in the 1700s named Swedenborg, and he said there's 4 loves. There's love of stuff, love of self, love of others, and love of God. And if you get them in the right order, you can be really happy. If you get them out of order, man, you will be miserable the whole time, right? Yep. You care more about your car than your kids. Everybody hates you.
Yeah,
you hate yourself.
You hate yourself, right?
Yeah, because
you're condemned for it.
Yeah.
There's no oh my, that's worse than conviction, because now you're condemned. Everybody's telling you about the thing that is in the way of how you should live. It's the have to be.
True. That's so true. Yeah. So if you get them in the right order, and it's like God's trying to teach us, like, hey. Yeah, it's good to enjoy stuff. It's good to enjoy food, handles, glory to God, it's awesome. Yeah. And it's also good to enjoy a car. It's good to enjoy a house. But to your point, it's like at some point you have to realize that's just the beginning. And he's trying to help us be like him, to be connected with and love and enjoy every soul around us and enjoy him. He's just raining all these blessings down on us.
Yep.
If we're focused on the car, we're missing all of it. Right?
Yep.
Yeah. So you know all this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I come again from a place of experience. I had to go through it.
Yeah. Tell me your story. What was your story on that? And I see this knee surgery right here, man, and I feel you.
Oh yeah. I mean, I love what I think it was Lecrae that said, scars are just proof of healing.
Ooh, I like that.
Right. So we are continuously going through and experiencing things. Yeah. And no matter what we go through, the pain that we experience, if we do have a scar, is just proof that we've actually experienced something. And we're most equipped to help the person that we used to be. Yeah. Right. The person that was going through an ACL. And I get chills thinking about this, because I remember 2 different instances. I remember coming out of my ACL surgery, my first knee surgery, and there was a kid crying his eyes out, looked like a high school basketball player, and he was getting ready to go in for surgery. And I remember, as I'm being wheeled out, I spoke to him. I don't remember this was 15 years ago, 20 years ago, something like that. And I remember encouraging the guy, and I'm all high off of whatever drugs it was if I was coming off of anesthesia. Yeah. And I remember encouraging him. And it gives me that picture of like, I'm most equipped to help the person. I was the kid crying, being carted off the basketball court, terrified of what my future was going to look like. Now I get to be the catalyst to say it's going to be okay. Yeah.
You can invite him across the bridge.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. So we become the bridge from what was to what used to be.
Oh man, I love that. And you get to help what used to be. That is beautiful. Yeah. That's so true. And it's like we get to connect with each other that way and pull each other forward. Yeah.
Man, but for me, I grew up in Baltimore. Okay. And I played basketball pretty much from 8 years old until about 10 years ago.
Yeah, if you didn't, I was going to say that's a waste.
Right. For all my life, it was all I knew, right? Yeah. And my identity was wrapped in basketball.
Sure.
And
is that how you blew out your knee?
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
It's all good. It was the best thing the NBA was the best thing that never happened for me.
Oh, okay.
It made me who I am. Yeah. I would have hurt myself. If this was the exchange for the life that I have now,
that's it.
I would pay the price again.
That's it. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the price that I would have paid because of who I was would have been far greater.
Yeah. And I believe, having gone through my own stuff, I believe you chose that.
Yeah.
Like before you came to earth, you were like, okay, God, let's talk about my life. And he's like, you can go this way or that way. And you saw then better than you see now or and before. Now you probably have a much clearer perspective. But you saw, hey, if I don't go this way, if I don't make this choice right now, I'm going to miss out on all these other blessings. I mean, like, who knows if you would have had your wife and your kids, right? Like,
I had zero intention on getting married.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like it's the Isn't that amazing?
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can tell those girls love you, man. Like,
yeah. They are my pride and joy. Yeah. My life right now is definitely a reflection of healed scars and God's perfect plan.
Yeah.
Even the things that haven't happened yet that I don't even know about, that I can't see. And that's the part that I enjoy most about my journey now at this phase of my life. And this isn't just podcast talk. It's like I've accomplished so much. And if he says that he will clothe and feed the birds and the bees, how much more will he do for me? And if this is what I've gotten so far, how much better can life be beyond this point? Right. So right now it's just freaking icing on the cake.
I know, right?
You know what I mean?
And you don't even know what else is coming.
I know. So I'm fortunate enough to be, young enough to experience some things and have a couple things and and all that. But like I said, from where I come from to where I am now, I genuinely believe that it was the best thing for me. Yeah.
I love that. That's faith, man. That's beautiful.
Yeah, for sure.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, and I wear this, this is, I had this ring made, and it's basically a ring of crosses, and it has Philippians 4 on it. And I'm reminded all the time.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's my daily reminder.
That's it. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I love that. So there's this verse in Isaiah that I love. It's because my dad lost his job when I was a kid. We went bankrupt, lost our house, and we didn't have money to give each other Christmas presents. And so we would write each other things on Christmas and say, "Hey, here's my gift to you," and that's what we had, right?
Wow.
And there was this verse that I found when I was a kid that just really, it was icing on the cake, and it says, "And though the Lord give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner anymore, but thine eyes shall see thy teachers." And to me, it's this belief that he will take affliction and make bread, adversity and make water. Like his role is to help you see how to reconcile that dichotomy and to turn any bad thing into a gift, any difficulty into a blessing. And he's really good at helping us see our purpose. So pain becomes muscle.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's that growth.
Yeah. There's no way to get it without the pain.
No. And which sucks.
Yeah.
But it's worth it.
It's man, I was training this morning. I was literally training, and the guy that's training me, he's talking me through it. You can do this, you can do this, you can do this. And I get done. He's like, "Man, you're a freaking strong dude." And I was like, he's 23. And I was like, "You know why I'm a strong dude? Is because this set didn't build my strength.
Yeah.
It's the thousands of reps and sets that I mentally know if I got through those, I can get through this."
Yeah.
And those forced reps are going to produce the strength. I literally posted it this morning, like on my Instagram. It was something, I can't remember, but it was something about forcing reps. Like when I feel like I can't go, like that's when the real growth starts to happen.
That's it.
I start counting when it hurts. When I feel like I want to quit, these are the ones that count the most.
And that's when your muscle and your brain starts to kick in and go, "No, you can do this."
Yep, 100%.
That's powerful, man. That's powerful.
For sure.
So how do you feel about everything that's going down right now? Like the world's kind of crazy. And I come across as purple, right? Like from a political standpoint, having worked for Obama and Bush and like trying to, what do you think about everything that's going down?
So, and this is my personal opinion.
And I think people are afraid to talk about it.
No, I'm not afraid to talk about it at all, because I have a unique perspective, because I grew up
Baltimore.
in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Right. And now I live amongst all Republicans, essentially. Right. I mean, it's like, let's call a spade a spade. It's like,
Are you a Republican?
No.
Yeah.
Hyper.
He's like, this beard and these muscles. Yeah.
Hyper Democratic, hyper Republican.
Yeah.
So I get
yeah.
so I've gotten to see.
Yeah, you're purple too. You probably, right?
To see, like, I can understand.
Yeah, you can empathize with
right?
it. Yeah.
I empathize with both parties. And I think right now, and this is what I tell to any friend, any colleague, any client.
Yeah.
My perspective is based on my experience, and I believe that you should do the same. It doesn't matter what side you fall on.
Yeah.
Tell me one thing. On November, or regardless of when the election is, we're in April right now.
Sure.
On May 1st, NV Energy, your mortgage company, Mercedes, do they care about your political views?
They shouldn't.
No.
They shouldn't.
No.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's take it a step further. Life does not care about your political views.
That's so true.
It doesn't matter who the president is.
No.
Right?
No.
So whether you like Donald Trump or you wish Michelle Obama was the president, or you want to go back to 2008, or you want Nixon back, it doesn't matter. You want RFK. The fact of the matter is, right now, what are you going to do with what you have? You made a vote. It did not go in your favor. You made a vote. It went in your favor. Regardless of what the problem or solution may be, you have to do something about it with what you have right now.
It doesn't change you.
No.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, with everything that's going on, whether it's tariffs are really 104% or if it's 84%, I have to figure out how to navigate this economy. Period.
Yeah.
So there's always going to be a problem. That means there's an opportunity for a solution.
That's well said.
Yeah. If the market drops 50%, now I have 50% more people that have a problem that I need to figure out a way to solve.
I love that. Yeah.
I just got a 50% increase in my business overnight.
Yeah, you ride the wave.
Exactly.
It's going to wave either way, right?
Yep.
And it did back when Biden got elected, and it's doing it a different way now when Trump's elected. Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
And it's funny because having worked back in D.C. and done that, like my wife and I both worked for a senator before I worked for the presidents, and we, you get to a place where you get a little numb to it.
Yep.
And when you're in Baltimore, and then all of a sudden you start to realize it doesn't really matter.
No.
It doesn't really matter.
No, like and like growing up in Baltimore, you get numb to crime.
Yeah.
It's a part of it.
Yeah.
Right? It's you play sports, you become a rapper, you drop a mixtape, or you sell drugs. Yeah. Like that's the life of most people living in Baltimore.
Which is why you want to change your environment.
100%.
And be surrounded by people with light.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then you become numb to it, and then that becomes what you know. And then now you become the victim.
Yep. Yeah. Well, that right there, that topic is, so that's the other thing I teach all my law students over and over and over again, because I teach drafting and negotiation, is the idea that there's one lie at the center of all evil, all bad, all terrible things, all liability, everything. The one lie is that someone is just an object, or someone is just a number, right? And we do that with victimhood as well. We self-objectify. We're like, oh, I'm just an object.
Yep.
I don't have any control.
I'm just a basketball player. I'm just a real estate agent. I'm just an attorney. I'm just a whatever.
Yeah, and we define ourselves by things that are artificial instead of defining ourselves by things that are eternal, like our relationships with each other and with God and all that kind of stuff. And so if you can break out of that, man, you can do anything.
Awesome.
That's what I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So talk to me about right now in your current practice, which is really philanthropic. It's by choice.
Yep.
Where would you like to see our overall economy world go based on your faith? From where we are right now.
You know, I was talking to a law student about this last night, and because we still do a lot of litigation and we do a lot of policy work and stuff, but at the end of the day, none of it matters. It's like there's a famous quote where it's like arguing over policy is like straightening lawn chairs on the Titanic. Neil A. Maxwell said that once. He's a famous writer. And
we're trying to empty the ocean with a ladle.
Yeah, that's it. Like, not effective.
Yeah.
So at the heart of, I believe, of the answer really is the family. Like, how do we strengthen families? How do we cultivate and empower and amplify what you were doing with your girls that night we were going to get ice cream. That changes society. The family is the structure that is necessary for society. And so any laws that can be implemented to facilitate that are fantastic. Let me give you an example. When the cell phone came out, and I'm a telecom attorney by training, okay? And when the cell phone came out, the iPhone came out in 1996, and then the iPhone in 98, you have a corresponding dramatic increase in child suicide rates, depression, and a lot of the mental neurodivergence that we see with ADHD and autism. And I'm not saying this causes it, but the cell phone is toxic.
Yeah.
At least a lot of the applications on cell phones are toxic.
Yes.
And so I think that we need to be honest with ourselves and say, we are making our kids into digital zombies.
Yeah. Yep.
Sticking them in front of an iPad or in front of an iPhone all day long.
Yep.
Checking out as parents and letting technology raise our kids, and it's destroying their brains. And so there are states that are trying to fix that, and there are states that are trying to say, hey, if you do stuff with kids, there's a presumption of harm. You need to get parental consent, stuff like that. And I think we're going to start in 10 years. I wouldn't be shocked if we all said this was kind of insane that we were allowing these big companies to basically sell our kids brain space.
Yeah.
So I hope stuff like that starts to change.
Amazing. We do limit screen time.
That's great.
We
It's hard not to. You can't go cold turkey. It's too hard.
Oh, for sure,
right?
for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's they're like during spring break or stuff like that. They have homework that's on an iPad.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
But we don't do TVs in the kids' rooms or none of that stuff.
Smart.
Like,
yeah. We don't let any of our kids have cell phones in their rooms.
Yep.
And my kids don't get cell phones till they're 16.
Yep.
And yeah, but it's hard, right? Yeah.
For sure. I know it is interesting.
Give them ice cream instead.
Yep. And we're, I tell my son's, he's so funny. He's 14. I'm like, on Sundays, I don't care if you don't want to watch football. We're going to sit here
and be together. Yeah.
And whether you like it or not. And if you try to go to your room, I'm turning the Wi-Fi off. and then we're all going to be sitting here.
I love it.
We're all just going to be mad
I love
in
it.
your room, right? So it's so funny, but I agree 100%. And it's interesting that in real estate, there are some communities where you're finding more entertaining style homes, but not specifically for families.
Yeah.
Like the family style home is not there anymore.
It's sunsetting.
Yes.
Yeah.
And builders aren't really focused on that. I think Summerlin has done a good job in a way where they've gone something for everybody, more of a starter home, young family.
Sure.
But not really like, hey, this is the home that you raise your family in. And then 20 years from now, the lines where you were measuring your kids are still on the wall. And like, you come back with your kids.
Dude, that's it right there.
None of that. Like that is gone.
Yeah.
And I fell victim to that as an entrepreneur and just being in real estate. And obviously I see some incredibly beautiful homes regularly.
Yeah, incredible.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, every 2 years in a day, we're going to move. And my wife was like, no, we're not.
Don't you understand what it means to be here? Put our roots down? Yeah.
Home. I want a home.
Yeah.
Buy me a house so I can make it a home.
And every wife wants that, right?
Yes.
Like every wife wants that safe place where it's like, hey, this is where we are. We're protected.
Yes.
We're secure. Yeah.
So to your point, the family anatomy can be corrected, or not say corrected, amended.
Yeah.
With subtle attempts individually, one household at a time.
That's it.
To bring family as a unit, marriage as a unit to the forefront of what success really looks like.
Yeah. We have this saying in my church where it says, no outside success will compensate for failure in the home.
Oh, wow, that's good.
Right? And I was raised with that mindset, but I'm clearly ambitious too. Like I'm like, hey, let's go make a ton of money. I'm actually building a town in a little town with some buddies. We bought some land and we're doing it in Utah. I mean, like I'm ambitious. Like, let's go do cool stuff. But at the end of the day, every day I have to ask myself, have I focused on my kids? Have I spent time with them? Because they're the real legacy. Everything else really is dust.
Yeah.
Everything else will vanish away one day.
Yeah.
So.
Wow, man, that's so good.
Well, I love that you do that too. Like, you're clearly keeping your son with you. Like, he needs you.
Yeah.
He needs that energy and that, hey, we have these traditions. This is how we stay bonded and connected as a family.
Yeah. We are definitely the chain breakers of our past examples or illustrations of absent parents.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I was raised by my mom. My wife was raised by basically her grandparents.
Oh, okay.
And well, my mom and my sister basically raised me because my sister's 7 years older than me.
Oh, wow.
And my mom essentially worked all of her life. So 7 a.m. to late in the evening, like 7 to 7 was like she worked 2 state jobs.
Yeah.
And
so you felt that absence.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
And so you want to probably give it back.
Yes. And being a dad, I think the most arrogant thing we do when I say we, people who grew up in single parent homes, is growing up without both parents, but believing that we have the ability to just be good parents, be good spouses without any intention, without any plan, without any education or illustrations or examples.
Yeah.
And that is a direct path to divorce, to a continued broken home.
Yeah, you're going to continue the cycle.
Exactly.
Yeah, you have to find a model.
Yes, yes. So that being said, I mean, that's why it's coaches for everything. Yeah. Like LeBron has a coach, Steph Curry has a coach. Yeah. And in the home, in the family, parents are the coaches.
Yeah. They model everything.
Right? Yeah. It's so interesting now, and as I'm thinking about this while we're having this conversation, I'm like, well, if we want to change the world, we're called to be world changers. We're called to be disciples, we're fishers of people. We have to be the example of what not a perfect marriage, of what does God say about being a husband? Husbands, love your wife like Christ loved the church.
Yeah.
How do I be a wife? I don't know how to be a wife. Well, wives, submit to your husbands. And if we look at all right, how do I do that? All right, now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
Now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
And as we start this path of trying to figure out how to be in this role and do it together and create a family unit, what would you say from your experience is an example that people can go to look at outside of the Bible, the words in the Bible, to say, these commandments are visual in this place or this way, or what, hey, I've never read the Bible before, but I want to be a good husband one day. I want to be a good wife one day. I don't have a visual picture. Where do I start?
I think you need to find somebody that you can emulate, someone that you can learn the dance from. Because what you're talking about it's the divine dance, right? Yeah. It's like, okay, we're going to take the most polar opposite of energies, masculine and feminine, and we're going to learn how to be one. And we're going to learn how to dance together. And unless you have someone to show you how to do that, you're going to be lost. I mean, my dad was raised by his mom. I'm actually named after my dad's grandpa because not only is Sam a great name, but my dad's grandparents raised him too, along with his mom, who's not usually home. And he was looking for examples. He was looking for people that he could learn from, and he could have model how to do this better. And it's still so hard. I mean, even when you have good examples, it's so hard. It's so hard to learn how to let go of your own ego and to say I'm sorry and to be humble and to dance. It's easy just to be like, oh, look at me, I can do it my own way. Yeah. But that, so I think you just have to find. I think you have to find good examples. And I've been blessed with amazing examples, and I've also had moments where I go to the Lord and I'm like, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to deal with this. I don't know how I feel about this. And I think in time, being a disciple of Christ to me means that you try and think like he thinks. You try and see like he sees. Feel like he feels. Even vote. Like he votes, right? But it's really this conversation where you go to him and you say, all right, this is a difficult experience, and I believe every experience is an invitation to learn how to be more like you, to walk your walk, talk your talk. Teach me. And I think he'll send us examples. I think he'll give us opportunities to learn from others around us.
Yeah. Amazing.
And repent when we make mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we all do.
And we will forever.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I love it.
That doggone garden.
Well, but I heard you talk about that. Did you? So have you ever read the book? It's an Ethiopian text called the Lost Book of Adam and Eve. So this is wild, man. So because I was studying this with the whole Zion thing, and if we have time, can we talk about this for just a second?
For sure.
Okay. So the Jewish tradition is that when Adam and Eve fell, and there's some rabbis that are teaching this right now. When God, Adam eats the fruit, and God shows up, and he's like, "Where are you, Adam?" Right? The Hebrew word for that is ayaka.
Okay.
And in Hebrew, it doesn't mean "Where art thou?"
Right.
So ayaka means "Where is your light?"
Okay.
Now, the Book of Adam and Eve actually reinforces this tradition. It's Ethiopian, and it's actually an Arabic story. Okay, it was originally written in Arabic, and it says that when Adam and Eve ate the fruit, they first ate the fruit, and then all of a sudden they had this brightness and a light inside them that they couldn't see anymore, and they complained to God about it. They were like, "Okay, what happened? We used to be able to see you and hear you, and smell the sweetness of heaven." And the music, we could hear it. We can't see the brightness even in each other anymore. What happened to us? And so that makes sense why God would say, "Where's your light?" And Einstein talks about this with the whole dark matter theory, like where he's like, "Hey, we don't see about 90% of the universe. We can't measure it." And there's a whole, I could walk you through that. But basically, he died thinking that was his greatest theory failure. But it's now been proven that, we don't see 90% of the universe. We're surrounded by light we can't see. We're surrounded by energy and mass and beauty and song that we can't see. And I think that's why in relationships, oftentimes we feel like we aren't seen. Like the most universal need or desire is for people to feel heard and seen, right? That's why when I saw you, I was like, "Oh, this guy's cool." And I wanted you to know I saw you, right? That's the connection. And so I think what God's trying to teach us how to do is to regain that light. He's trying to restore us so that we can see like we used to see and hear like we used to hear and regain his presence and that connection. And we only learn how to do that when we receive it from him, when he teaches, back to what we were talking about earlier, when he teaches us, "Oh, this is what Sam is, who he was before, who he is now, and who he's going to be. And isn't he incredible?"
Yeah.
And once you start to see that in people, every person around you is like this amazing wonder.
Yeah.
And you just want to connect with people.
Yeah.
Right?
All right.
So thanks for letting me explain that.
Awesome, man. Well,
I could talk forever. I'm sorry. I'm a lawyer.
No, you're fine. You're fine, man. I'm glad we did this.
Yeah, me too.
So I do this thing on the podcast. At the end of every podcast, I encourage you to make a promise to yourself.
Oh, dude, I love that. Okay.
So 12 months from today, what's a measurable promise that you would make to yourself? Something, it has to be measurable.
It can't be grow my hair back.
No,
that's not happening.
Unless you bring a ruler out and say, "All right."
Even then, it's not gonna happen.
How many hairs? One.
One hair. That's a good question. I have I'd like to write another book, and so it's a struggle. Creating something like that. It's a big lift. And so I think I could set that goal for myself in a year, have one more.
Okay.
But another goal immediately is I want you to come talk on my podcast and
Done deal.
Just share your light there
Done.
too. Yeah.
Done deal.
Because you're a stud. I love talking to you.
Man, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I paid him to say that.
No, you didn't. You didn't even buy me ice cream. That's good.
Awesome, man.
Awesome,
I'm
brother.
So glad we did this.
Me too.
And a year from now, we'll be able to look back and say, "You wrote your book?"
You're gonna hold me accountable?
Yep.
Do it.
Well, you didn't.
Do it.
But either way, I believe that there's something that we can all learn.
Yeah.
And when we have those moments of, "Oh my gosh, that word, that phrase, that book reference," we're one quote, handshake, hug, "How are you?" from a completely different trajectory of our life.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad we were able to do this. Thank you guys for tuning in. And as always, the D League is all about devotion. Don't allow us to be more devoted to your own personal development. Don't allow us to be more devoted than you are to your own. So I'll see you on the next episode, and I appreciate you all.